they have these mini donuts there. Like they give you a bucket of mini donuts. So me and like two of my teammates that were injured. So it was me, my other teammate that was injured, and this other kid that got suspended with me. We were just sitting there in the stands, like mucking these mini donuts. But everywhere around us, it was nuts. Like these people were rowdy, like just a bunch of Iowa guys that like they got really nothing better to do. So they're at this game all fucking banged up before it, like they're tailgating and stuff. It was like a college football game, but like small scale. So that was probably like one of the rowdiest places to like watch a game in, but the rowdiest place to play in was probably the ice box, I'd say. Cole Kreuzberg knows like they got that minute of madness in the third period, and you're like, you can't even hear yourself think. It's brutal, but it's like to their advantage. Like Rocky Russo, like will be talking, and they like can hear him because they're used to it. But you get in that setting, and it's just a bunch of Nebraska people screaming for a minute straight. It's like holy shit, you can't even hear yourself think.
What is it
Never mind
called?
the
The
minute of madness. It's at the first minute of the third period. So they start from the 20-minute mark and go to the 19-minute mark, and they just scream and yell the entire time. It's banana lands.
funny. Oh man. What's it like being were you ever on the ice for that?
Yeah, like my shift would come and you'd be like jumping the boards, and coach would be trying to yell out like the guy who's next, and like you're on the ice and you can't hear your teammate call for the puck. Like you're kind of playing blind. Like talking at like that and in that level is like so important because like you got to like think so much, and like just talking helps because it moves so fast, and not being able to hear your teammates is like a big deal. So being on the ice and you're like, where the fuck is this guy? Like I hear him calling for it, but there's also 5,000 other people yelling. It's like, what do I do?
It's awesome.
It's just a wild experience.
Yeah. Um, and then so when you went from prep school to the USHL, how much of a difference was that in the hockey?
I don't think you really can like explain the difference until you're there. Like even I'm not even talking just like games, like practices. Practices at the USHL level were probably like comparable to games at the prep level. Just like the intensity and like compete level is ridiculous. Like some of these guys are like fighting for everything. Like we're all fighting for the same spot. Like we all want to be the same top guy, and it's just like you can't. It's like I said it the other day. It's like Mars and Earth. Like even the games are like crazy difference. Like you got to be ready to like do whatever it takes to stay in the lineup, and that's not something that I was used to a lot in prep. And so to see like the speed of the game change is just like it's a very hard jump to make, I'll say.
Mm.
Probably, I think a lot of people would agree in saying that like it's a harder jump to make than USHL to college. I think a lot of people would agree with that.
I mean, I couldn't believe the difference from playing, EHL to college. Like my first day at USM, I was like in shock mode. I couldn't believe how fast it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, it's crazy.
And then you guys, you got guys battling in practice, guys fighting. I've never seen any of that, so
Yeah.
it was cool. Did
We had guys like we had this one kid. He was probably like 6'4". He was like one of my stallmates too, so he sat right next to me. 6'4", probably 195, 200, Finnish kid. Shaved his head, like he had a buzz cut, tattoo, like arm sleeve. Looked like he was out of the Finnish prison system. And one of our teammates got buried into the bench, and he hops off the bench, just insta shed, like didn't even give the kid an option. Probably the other kid he fought was the toughest kid in the league or one of them, and he just insta shed and threw like a Superman flying punch, and then put this kid in the headlock and just took him to the ice. Like we had another kid, Sean McEwen, who's one of my good buddies. He got in one fight this year, and it was just some kid asked him to go, so he just insta shed and grabbed this kid by the J and took like 3 or 4 punches to the face, and then started feeding this kid. Like the kid was picking up his teeth off the ice, literally spitting chiclets. It was outrageous. Like they had the shovel out, shoveling the blood off the ice. It was nuts.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he's a tough kid for sure. We had a couple of guys that could throw him.
Yeah.
You got one, right?
Yeah, I got in one myself, but yeah, I didn't even get to throw a punch. Like this kid was like running around the rink, like they were down. We were playing Lincoln, they were down 6-1. I actually scored this game too, one of like the few games I scored in. But they were down 6-1, and this kid was just like he leg tripped my teammate, and so like I was gonna go after him then, but we had the puck in the O zone, and I was like, well, it's 6-1, like let's try and do something here, score again or whatever. And then he came over to me, like cross checked me in the back and was like, let's go. I kind of just like ignored him at first, and then he like did it again, and we were in front of the net, and I like was like, all right, we're going. So I dropped my gloves, but I was facing like my point, so I couldn't see this guy. Like I didn't even know who he was. I dropped my gloves, and when I dropped my gloves and turned around, I was looking at this kid's like chest. Like this kid was 6'4", 6'5", and I'm not like small, but I'm not 6'5". And he threw like 3 punches. None of them hit me. The boys swear to this day that I got one punch, which is not true. But he threw like 3 punches. None of them connected, and I just like ended up hitting a rut in the ice and fell. Which the boys are gonna give me so much shit for saying that, but that's the honest truth. We could pull up the clip if you want. None of those punches hit me.
And it's scary because you guys are all skilled guys, and then you got a couple guys that can fight. That's scary. That's scary hockey right there.
Yeah, you put enough guys together that are a bunch of 19-year-old, 20-year-old guys that are all fighting for a job and fighting for a spot. Like everybody's gonna do anything to stay on the ice, and so like if guys ask you to go, you just got to answer the bell.
Yeah, that's awesome. Little different world out there in the USHL world instead of
Yeah, the EHL.
EHL, you can't even fight. I think if you fight, you're done for like
Get a game, yeah.
Stupidity if you even fight.
Yeah.
Well, what's like the facility like? Is how's it look?
So Tri-City, we have a nice rink and stuff. Like our rink is just like really big, so it doesn't always look like it's filled. Like we probably have like 2,500 a night on average. Like I'd say like 2,000 to 2,500 a night, and it's like the rink itself is really nice. The only thing like to complain about is like the gym, but it's not even bad. Like we just have like a bunch of squat racks and like benches and stuff, like plenty of bikes for the boys and all that sort of stuff. All the stuff you need just builds character, having a gym in the rink. It's gritty. It builds character. That's all you got to do. The boys love it. It's like, it's good. Like it's small. So you're surrounded by a bunch of guys. Like it just pushes you.
And so what are you doing, to better yourself for next year? As of right now, what are you doing?
So I'm working with like a bunch of guys, not a bunch, with a couple of guys from the area. Like I don't know if you know Pavel, Navrat, Colin Merrill. I think you know Merzy. Do you know Merrill? Colin Merrill?
Guy, I might.
You played at USM.
Yeah, he played at USM in Hobart.
Yeah.
Okay. He works like with Stride Envy and stuff. So I work with those two guys mainly, like down in Exeter and right here in Falmouth. So that's kind of just like been helping me prep for the upcoming season. And then I'm in the gym over at Beyond Strength with this guy Pete. He's a phenomenal trainer. He does a lot of like ECHL and AHL guys stuff. So just hopping in with him and doing stuff there.
Yeah. How many days a week are you on the ice?
Right now I'm on the ice 3 to 4 times a week, and then in the gym, probably I'd say right around 3 to 4 times a week. Mm-hmm. One day for recovery. So I usually do Monday workout, and skate, and then Tuesday workout and skate, Wednesday rest day / recovery, and then Thursday on the ice skate, and Friday workout.
Nice. One last question for you here. Your favorite memory in the USHL right now?
Wow, my favorite memory.
That could be a goal, that could be a hit, that could be a stupid locker room story, whatever it is.
You have to give me a second to think about this. I actually got one. Nice. So a huge part of our like practices and stuff were Monday like battle drills. So on Monday we would just do straight like small area games where we just duke it out, battle drills and stuff like that. And we had this one coach. He would call me. He had a bunch of nicknames for me. My favorite one was probably Cockness Monster. So like he would make like shit jokes about my name and stuff, just like fucking with me because I don't know, like I thought it was funny too. Like it was pretty funny. Like Caucasaurus Rex, Cockley. The boys would just like come up with wild names. And we had to practice, and he was running it and chipped the puck in, and it was like a 1v1 battle drill. And that big Finnish kid that I was talking about, it was him versus me. And so the puck like came up to the half wall, and I like reverse hit him, but he's a big kid. So like he knocked my bucket off, but he fell back at the same time. So like he was on the ice, my bucket was on the ground, and I was like, well, fuck, like I got to make a play here. So I pick up the puck, and I went to the net and I scored, but the boys were going nuts because like he was so much bigger than me, and like they didn't think like I would necessarily like win the 1v1, but that was funny. And then the coach came up to me. He's like, Cockness, you should probably buy a lottery ticket. Like that was how he talked. And he was like basically telling me I got lucky, which was funny, but that was one of my favorite memories. Like just small stuff like that with the boys, like just in the locker room. There's 1,000 memories I could go through, but that's probably one that like sticks out the most as far as like a hockey, like play wise standpoint.
Yeah, that's a good memory right there. All right, Carson, what's your game day ritual? What do you do to get prepared for a game?
Game day ritual. So usually in the AHL too, we would show up 2 hours before a game. So I mean, this year will probably be different, probably like 3-4 hours. You know, say it's a 3 o'clock game, waking up 9. You still see us? Yeah. Waking up at 9 usually. Get up, make some breakfast, make lunch too. That one's done. Is that time? Yeah, I got it. Make lunch too. Then we usually carpool because I live with teammates. So it'd be like 3 or 4 of us. We'd go to the rink, roll to the rink, grab our bags if we're going away, load up the bus. Whatever. But usually when I get to the rink, take my time. You just start with taping my sticks in my suit. You know, stay in the suit a little while longer. Tape the sticks in the suit, go back in the locker room, changing my warm-up gear. Usually go sit by myself for a little while. Music, earbuds, whatever it may be. Then we usually have team warm-up. So by that time with the boys rolling, warm up, and then I usually go get half dressed early. Half dressed. I would wait a little bit longer. Go out, sit out, get the legs going more. But usually the ritual I had the last 2 years when I was at Seacoast was Coach Walker. Coach Walker and I'd come out on the ice last usually. Make sure everyone's out of the room and whatever. Captain Kenny would go up first. I'd make sure all the boys are ready to go. Last one out, come over to the bench, see Walker. He'd take both my gloves. I'd grab a bottle, squirt water on both my hands. I like my gloves wet. I don't know why. Squirt a bottle on both my hands. He'd grab my stick. I'd throw him the bottle back. He'd throw my stick up in the air, grab my stick, and we're ready to go. And then, I don't know. We always do the same thing. You know, classic junior warm up, rebound drill, and then that was usually the last. My favorite pregame ritual is whichever goalie we had though. Had to give him a big not a high five. It was a little bit harder than that. Come up over the top, swing, hit them. All the goalies, they all knew that was the drill. Go into the huddle and then game on from there.
Good stuff. Yeah. So, what's your future with hockey, Carson? And do you have any advice for younger hockey players?
Yeah. So I definitely make sure that you're doing all the things you have to, shooting pucks, working out. Even if you're young, I mean, as long as you don't burn yourself out and you love the game and you're skating as much as is right for you and not pushing it too hard. But make sure that for us, we always had each other compete against each other. We had an outdoor rink here that was huge for us when we were growing up. Thing was massive too. We used to put it up with our dad every year. It's like 150 by 85, something like that.
Yeah.
Huge boards, scoreboard, everything was ridiculous, but that helped a lot. So we just got to skate as much as we can. So, I went up through playing youth, prep school, juniors, went through the whole ladder. Excited to go to college. We'll gonna make the best of the next 4 years. Keep working and gotta stay in the gym. Keep the body right and keep grinding. But yeah, we'll take the next 4 years. Hopefully, win a MassCAC. We know there's a little shakeup in the leagues coming in a couple of years or whatever. Saw that the other day. D3 leagues. Isn't USM joining that or whatever it is?
Yeah, it's like Keene State's joining.
Yeah.
Other things, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but we'll see how the MassCAC shapes out and take it from there. Yeah. He'll be a sophomore when I'm a senior. So,
are you going in next year, Brock?
I'm not sure yet. They haven't told me. I still have one more after this year. I still have one more year of eligibility, so I can play like another 2 years. So it really depends on what they tell me. It's going to depend how this season goes.
Yeah. Well, I'll be rooting for both of you guys, and thanks for coming on here. That was the longest episode in history. So congrats, boys. We broke a record.
Sorry, bro.
We wanted the screen time.
Yeah, it's whatever.
I loved every minute of it. You guys are great talkers. Keep trying to find podcasts because you guys got great stories. It's good shit.
Yeah, there's a lot more too that
some that need to stay off the air and
some that can stay on.
I know, I've had a couple guys where it's like, whoa, like you go to a great school, but can't say anything about it. Plim.
Yeah.
Rowdy school.
Yeah, you can't be. Yeah. Love what you're doing.
Thanks, man. I got a funny ass story to tell you. Let me stop the recording.